In this video, we're going to look at creating a quiz based on an existing quiz set definition file that the PCC Math department has put together. And then we will go into the settings for the quiz to explore what they all mean and how you can customize those settings. In the homework sets editor, we can go to the import tab to see the list of problem sets that are available to the PCC community. If you scroll down all the way into the PCC set definitions, you can go to the specific set definitions that correspond to a course like Math 95, and you might find a set definition like this one titled Exam for Orca 2nd Edition, sections 10.1 through 11.2. At the moment, this is the only exam that is available, but we intend to make many more and make them available there. I'm importing a single set. I'm going to assign it to everyone in the course and click to take action. Okay, well, that has created the problem set. If we click right here, we can view the set details for that problem set. More generally, you would go to Instructor Tools, choose a particular problem set, in this case this exam/quiz that we're making, and click to edit this one set. This takes you to the set details page for this problem set. Open date, a close date, a date when answers become available. It's set to be visible to students. If the problems have hints, then this setting will hide those hints from the students. And the setting for the quiz is a gateway quiz, right? The normal homework set would be using the homework mode. A proctored gateway quiz is worth discussing perhaps in a separate video. So you set the time limit. The deal is that when a student starts a quiz, they'll have so many minutes to complete it. You can decide if you want to cap the test time at the close date. What happens if a student actually starts the exam like 5 minutes before midnight, before that close date? Should they be cut off at that close date, or should they get their full 2 hours that has been set here? You have this time interval in which you might allow your student to retake the test 3 times. And when that time interval expires, again, they get the chance to retake the test 3 times. So the use case for this is really that you only allow the student to take it 1 time, and you're forcing them to take a break for a day before they get to retake it again. By default, we've set that time interval to be infinity, meaning that there really isn't this feature going to be used. Within that time interval, how many times are you going to let them take new version? The default here is you're just going to get 1 version. If you wanted to let them take it over and over and over again forever, you could put a 0 there, which is code for infinity. And then while they are taking a particular version of the test, do you want to allow them to hit the grade button repeatedly? You might just want them to only have 1 chance to enter all their answers, hit the grade button, and be done with it. You might want to let them hit the grade button 1 time, see their scores, and then see that they got a couple of questions wrong, and so they get a second opportunity. But by default, we're going to allow them to set to push the grade button over and over and over again. Do you want to expose them to the problems in random order? No, right now. The quiz is going to have multiple pages. You could put 1 problem on each page. You could put 2 problems on each page. Even set this to 0 and have all of the exam questions on a single page. And these last 2 settings control the degree to which a student can sort of game the system. Show scores on finished assignments. Well, I've got it set for this default to only do that after the answer date. That is protecting against a student who decides to enter an answer, click the grade button, see that they got it right or wrong, and then learn something about that to correct their answer. They won't actually see any of their scores until after the answer date. In fact, you could also set this to only show their totals after the answer date, not giving them access to the fact that they got question 1 correct, but question 2 incorrect. You could make it so they only see their finished final score for the whole thing. Showing problems on finished tests. So if we finish 1 version of the quiz, and we're a student about to take the 2nd version of the quiz, do you want them to see which questions were asked back during the 1st version? Choose whichever option you want for that, but we're setting it to be exactly the same as the scores. So they cannot go back and look at their problems from the 1st version as a way to study for the 2nd version, only because that might help a student game the system. You can set a description of the quiz that will show up when they're about to take it. You can view all of the questions that are available in this quiz. Most of these are just like regular WeBWorK questions where there is an answer that will be automatically graded. In these curated exams that the PCC Math Department is putting together, you might find a question at the end, like this one, where the intent is that the student does it all on paper separately and they upload that into the appropriate place in D2L. There is an answer blank for the student to type in something that signifies that they understand those instructions. Now, what does all this look like from the student's perspective? And this is what I see. Start a version of exam with that title. This is an open problem set. I have until April 28th to take care of that. When I click it, this is what I see. Clock starts counting down. If you recall, I set it to just show one problem per page, so I can do answers there, jump around to different questions, enter answers. If I have an answer, like I can check to preview that answer. This is just using the standard tools that WeBWorK uses to let the student know that they've typed in order of operations and parentheses and things like that correctly. And then I can click to grade the test. Score the question. The score was recorded, but I'm not able to see that score until sometime in the future. Again, that was dependent upon the settings that the instructor made for this quiz. This clock will go down and down and down. When it gets, there's only 1.5 minutes or 45 seconds or 0 seconds left, then the student will get an alert pop up saying that they better go ahead and hit the grade button. And the student doesn't know this, but there's actually a 2-minute grace period where they can still hit grade button. You, the instructor, should know about that grace period though. So that concludes this first video on the basics of using a quiz. In a future quiz video, we will construct a quiz from scratch.